Altcoins are the new craze, and of course we're going to jump into a couple of projects today I think that are going to impress you. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to TechPath.
And I'm Lisa Francoeur, back at it again. You ready to go?
Yes, we are looking at
altcoin season.
You seem excited about this.
I mean, listen, when we talk about the price from where it was to where it is, how could you not be?
Yeah, I love it. What is the red hot Moonriver crypto and where can you buy it? This is basically kind of the rundown on what it, if you haven't watched our video on parachains, you got to jump back to that video, go back in to Paul Barron Network, take a look at our Polkadot and parachain video because it does dive into what is really happening in this space. Polkadot is one of the most robust blockchain networks available right now. Rather than just having one chain, they've basically done a series of chains that lets users that can transfer data across all this good stuff. And then you have these things called parachains, which is where Moonriver starts rolling in under a thing called Moonbeam.
Okay, so trying to wrap your head around Moonriver, Moonbeam is no small feat. We'll do our best. But in effect, Moonriver acts as a sibling to the larger project, which is Moonbeam. And I have to look at my notes here to make sure that I'm speaking to it correct. And then you've got Glimmer.
Glimmer comes out of there.
The utility token, which we'll talk about in a second, though. But the whole objective is to provide an alternative to developer projects by combining smart contract capabilities found on Ethereum with high scalability offered on Polkadot.
Right. So Polkadot, what they've done is they've created an ecosystem where these projects can launch in these things called parachains, and they usually do it under an auction-based system. So it gives them the ability for a developer to go build on a chain, try to figure out a solution, come up with some cool app, use case, scenario, be in there, win the auction, and then be part of that chain as it starts to develop, hence Kusama.
Right.
Kusama is the sister chain to Polkadot. And all this. Now, I know we're talking about, this is where we get in the weeds a little bit because everybody wants to know about what's Moonriver going to do?
Because the test net is Moonbeam.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's jump over to Moonriver's price right now. Take a quick look right here on CoinGecko, 416. This is down a little bit, but if you look at the 30-day, this is really kind of the movement that I wanted to showcase right here. And in the action, you've seen it at around 89 bucks just in the 30-day. Around the end of August, and right up here at its high, which was at 468. Would have been a nice 4x there,
okay,
people.
Paul, it launched at $70. It's trading at $330+.
Yeah.
So
that's money in the bank. That's money in the bank.
Now you see why I was so excited when season.
The point is that now maybe you missed that ride for Moonriver, or maybe Moonriver is set to go vertical. If you follow a lot of YouTubers that are really going after this one, and analysts that are looking at Moonriver overall, the big question is, can it continue to fly? Because Solana kind of had this movement. People thought it was going to stall out around 130. Where did it go? It goes to 215.
Yep.
So that is where a lot of people are looking at this in the essence of whether or not it can continue to fly up the chart.
I think that there's a huge appetite for these, decentralized platforms that are, streamlining, introducing more efficiencies and what have you. And now, mind you, this is still in beta though, right? We've just we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, here are the two projects right here, Glimmer, Moonriver. This, of course, is over here on the Moonbeam platform. Deployment, let's talk about Glimmer quickly. Deployment network, Moonbeam, the chain, of course, being Polkadot, and, of course, what it is the utility token of the Moonbeam network. So that essentially means we'll launch after Moonriver its canary net partner will go outline. And of course, that's where you can actually buy Moonriver right now.
And a couple of the use cases associated with the Glimmer token, supporting the gas metering of smart contract execution, paying for transaction fees for the network. So those are just a couple of examples, but this looks like a really promising project. Yeah,
utility token, the network's Kusama deployment will be called Moonriver, have its own utility tokens, supply and other economic behaviors on Moonriver will be the same as Moonbeam, but with distribution will be different in order to support the unique goals. Obviously, this is one of those projects, and again, these altcoins, in many cases, they're not really functional use case scenarios yet. This is where, and I always recommend to investors, this is like the seed round in a startup. Most of the time, the startup is they don't have a minimum viable product just yet.
Right.
They have the concept, maybe the roadmap is ready and they're close to developing something that's a breakthrough, kind of like Uber was.
Right.
If you looked at where Uber was in the early days, a lot of people just thought this was a what if.
But I like the fact that Kusama is creating this kind of ecosystem where you have these projects that are able to test, iron out the kinks before they are introduced to a main chain. So we're still in the test net phase, but again, this looks really promising, and you can tell by the 62% uptick, I think, in the past day.
Yep. And if you look at where they are on just their token supply, 10 million on Genesis token supply, annual inflation rate, 5% uncapped supply, and their transaction fees, 80% burn, 20% going into the treasury. These are good tokenomics, and that's another thing that are the basis of any kind of project that you're looking for inside these parachains. Is you've got to take a look at where these, especially on Kusama, because some of these projects are a little bit out there, really dive into the tokenomics and understand where that's going and kind of when that movement is going. Obviously with them, they launched in Q2 this year. If I was looking back here on Glimmer, let's take a look at when Glimmer was trying to move. Yeah, that's a Q3 anticipated launch right there. Right there. And again, same thing, 5% uncapped supply. They're doing a 1 billion, so we're going to see a lot lower price unit coming in on Glimmer. But these are some potential. So Glimmer is kind of in the position where Moonriver was not too long ago. So if you were looking at an early entry, this is one of those that you should be researching, mainly because, and really I would look at all of the parachain projects that are being launched in the Polkastarter ecosystem. That is a big deal.
Right.
It's the way you're going to get early plays.
I mean, listen, and if you're wanting to or had aspirations of being a quasi venture capitalist, then these are the types of projects that you need to consider.
Yeah, I think so. All right, more in our tokens, and especially in altcoins. I know Avalanche has been one you guys have been asking about. Lots of stuff happening there. And really, we've had the Avalanche guys on a couple of times. I wanted to just jump over to this new piece on Avalanche. This was on an ecosystem built on Avalanche called Trader Joe, which raised $5 million for DeFi on the Avalanche chain. Now, this is another one that's an early project that many of you have probably already invested in Avalanche and started to see some movement. This is another one that could be in its early rise, much like Algorand.
Okay, so here's the interesting thing about Trader Joe. It already has $500 million in value locked, total value locked. TVL is looking really sexy right now.
What does that tell you?
It's about to blow.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so some of these
the second largest Avalanche project as well.
Basic chain fundamentals. Basic chain fundamentals. As you start to see what is happening here. I like these kinds of news items because it starts to show you I think the virality of where the altcoins kind of come from. Everybody kind of was putting all their eggs into the Solana basket, the Cardano basket, and then out of nowhere, here comes the two A-bros, which is Avalanche and Algorand.
Yep.
And then here comes Moonriver slinging in, and and all of those kind of projects that are really kind of moving that direction.
It's so hard to keep up with all of them. That's why you got to keep watching, because we do the due diligence that we encourage all of our viewers to do as well. So we hope that this gives you a good foundation.
You guys know we'll do the research for you, get you a little bit of understanding of what's happening in the space. But remember, not financial advice. We want you to go out and do exactly what we just gave you, kind of those Hansel and Gretel crumbs of looking at some of these parachains and where the Kusama network and Polkastarter is a good place to go. There are many others. Go check out some of other videos to learn more about that. If you're listening in over on the podcast, thanks for stopping in.
And if you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so. We want to make sure that you keep yourself up to date on the latest, greatest crypto news. Of course, we provide analysis, and we are very excited to hear from you always. So comment below if you have any projects that you want us to evaluate, if you have comments on any of the things that we shared. We want to keep the community activated. So let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, we've got some cool stuff happening now. Hopefully we're past 100K by the time this thing airs. We're going to see that. And there is a cool option that we're going to offer in our live streams called the Diamond Circle. Make sure and stay tuned for that. Going to be a lot of cool stuff that will, one, help you on your investments, and also reward you in a different and a very unique way. Stay tuned and keep watching right here on TechPath. Catch you next time.